Hi, I'm Murray Feldman with Kiplinger, Editor-in-Chief, Kiplinger Publications. You often talk about pay yourself first. What does that mean to the average guy out there?
I talk to so many people who say, Knight, I can't save, I can't invest because I have nothing left after I pay my bills. What they have to do is reverse the process. They have to use payroll deduction going right into a mutual fund account, right into their 401k, right into an IRA, the money coming out of their paycheck before they see it. That means paying yourself first. Then you pay your other bills. And if you find you're a little short, take a hard look at your budget. Pay yourself first means put your life and your savings on autopilot, get it out of your visible line of use and consumption. And that's how savings will grow.
We often hear that people are overburdened with student debt, that it's going to be more than credit card debt someday nationwide, but right now credit card debt is hurting people. We understand it could be $1 trillion or more right now. How do you balance that, and how do you take care of that? What's your first step?
The first step is to analyze your spending. A lot of people don't have a clear sense of what they're spending their money on now, and they might be shocked to find how much they're spending each day on coffee, how much they are spending on dining out, which is really discretionary. And there is hardly a good meal that you can't make for much less at home with fresh ingredients rather than going out to a restaurant where you've got $5 beers or $8, $10 cocktails. So analyze your spending. See where the money is going. You do that first, and then you make a budget and you try to stick to it. Boy, that people don't like to hear that. It sounds like work. I don't know another way.
There's not another way, and then you have to take some of that money and invest it. And when investing, so many people are afraid, Knight Kiplinger, when the market drops. Sometimes hundreds of points, sometimes 2 or 3% in a short period of time. You say it's good to buy when everybody else is jumping out and selling.
That's true. You know, we are a discount crazy, bargain happy economy. We love to buy everything on sale except stocks. Stockbrokers, financial planners joke about that. Stocks are the only thing people would rather pay more for than less for. And when markets are falling because people have panicked, there are good long-term buying opportunities in quality stocks. Back in the spring of 2009, when the Dow went under 7,000, down to 6,600 compared to 27,000 today. Back then, I wrote a column in Kiplinger's Personal Finance magazine. I said, most people will see very few spectacular buying opportunities in their lifetime. This is one of them. But remember what 2009 felt like? The economy was in free fall. Markets had fallen 54% from their peak. It was the hardest thing to convince investors either to stay the course, not sell in a panic, not follow the other lemmings over the cliff, or conversely to use some of their cash to heavy up on their purchases at what turned out to be a market low. So the foundations of future wealth are laid not in soaring bull markets like today. They're made in bear markets when others are afraid to buy.
Correct me if this is the wrong way to think, but should we be thinking when the market drops like that it always does go higher, and so far it has always hit another record?
It will always eventually go higher, but sometimes it'll take a long time. Sometimes it takes several years for a market to regain a previous top. It, from a high in 2000 during the dot-com tech stock boom, it was numerous years into the boom of the aughts before stocks regained that level, going towards a new high in 2007. We know it took a number of years after the Great Recession for stocks to come back. But the people who didn't panic, who held on, maintained their consistent, regular investing habits, they are much better off for it.
All right, so we talk about what's happening today and the things that are changing, and one of them is social media. It's all over the place. We see that people are advertising what they're doing and how they're doing it. We see that when we go into stores and shopping malls that our phone is going off with coupons from the store that's just up the way because they know where we are and they're following us. So many temptations out there, especially trying to keep up with the Joneses. How do you handle that?
First of all, keep in mind that you don't know how the Joneses are doing. You might look at social media and say, oh, look at that fabulous trip they took the kids on. Look at this new home they moved into, that new car. You don't know how they're paying for that. Odds might be very good that they are paying for that with debt. You, with less conspicuous consumption, fewer trips, not as fancy a car, might be wealthier than the Joneses. You know, envy is the green-eyed monster. And instead of admiring the Joneses and envying their lifestyle, recognize how little you know. You can't tell anything about somebody's net worth from the outward appearance of their lifestyle. You can't tell anything. The BMW might be a lease payment, whereas you might own your car. You have more equity in your car than they have, which is close to zero as a lessee. So, keep this in mind. Have the confidence that you might be doing it better than the Joneses.
You never know what's in their bank account. You never know what's in their financial brokerage account.
You don't.
You just see what's on the outside.
Many years ago, I wrote a column in Kiplinger's magazine called The Invisible Rich. Other people call it the millionaire next door, who doesn't live like a millionaire. The invisible rich are the people who have been saving, they have a high net worth, they sleep well at night, and they have managed to tame that envy of the Joneses.
All right, your editor at Kiplinger's Personal Finance, Mark Solheim, wrote, "The older you get, the more complex financial decisions become." It's tough out there.
It is really true. Think of the financial decisions that seniors didn't have a generation ago. Required minimum withdrawals, distributions from their retirement accounts, intricacies of estate planning. Who do you want to get your assets when you die? And a woefully large number of people don't even have a will, don't have an estate plan. I remind them that they do have a will, but it was written for them by their state. And the state will dictate where their money goes in the absence of their expressing their wishes. Healthcare decisions are so much more complex today. How to pay for the soaring cost of prescription drugs. Medicare does a good job on a lot of the other things, hospitalization. Drugs are really out of control and something that we need to take a close look at.
So when we look at seniors in general, are they in a good spot right now?
Well, historically, seniors are better off than they've ever been in American history. Back before Social Security, when life expectancy was shorter, you worked, you retired briefly in ill health, and then you died. Today, people are looking at a 20-year retirement. Demographically, by age, segment, and cohort, seniors are the wealthiest group of Americans, and I mean by that they have the highest net worth. Median and mean net worth. That's primarily a function of home ownership and many years of accumulating home equity. Seniors were once, 2 generations ago, the poorest segment of America, but they didn't live very long in retirement. Today, seniors are better off than young people today, so they've come a long way, but they still face a great many challenges. Today's seniors, a lot of them still have a defined benefit pension plan from large company employers or from government employment. Younger employees today will not have that defined benefit pension plan cushion when they reach that age. So seniors are a mixed bag. Yes, there are many seniors living in poverty, but there are many that are doing relatively better than other age cohorts.
For so many years, you've given so much advice out. As you look back, is there one specific thing that you would want people to remember above anything else? Is there something that's the most important? And I know we're going back so many years, and I know that you've had so many tips and so many lessons that we've learned in your retirement letter, in your publications. What's most important, you think, for people to carry with them?
The most important is to put your savings and investment on autopilot. Don't try to time markets. Your success will come not from timing markets, but time in the market. longevity is your friend in investing, just as time and years is your friend in home ownership. A lot of people will not make a profit, a big killing in a home in 2 or 3 years or even 5 years, but over many years, home ownership will serve them well. So the key is to be systematic, pay yourself first, get that money out of your checking account before you see it and are tempted to spend it.
Knight Kiplinger, thank you so much for all the advice and these tips.
You're very welcome, Marie.
For more information on financial education and investing, I hope you'll visit wi65.org.